Scentland, the land of scent. Hello and welcome everybody, Chris back with yet another fragrance review, and this time it's rather a selection of 5 fragrances that, according to my opinion and my experience wearing them, are representing total and utter class and sophistication without a shadow of a doubt. And these are all originating from my personal fragrance collection, okay? And I was trying to pick them in a way that in order to be able to comply with your potential needs of wanting to buy them, okay? So what I'm trying to get across here is that except for one of them, the 3 others are still very much available, and only one is discontinued of these fragrances. We're going to come to this. And also 4 of them are designer in just one niche, okay? We're going to come to that as well. So, and one more thing, these 5 fragrances are representing 4 different decades, okay? So I was trying to be versatile yet again. Okay, so let's start with the 50s. I think it was released in the 50s let's start in France, okay? With the fantastic house of Chanel. Chanel released in Pour Monsieur, I think it was in 1955, if I'm not mistaken. Pour Monsieur is an absolute stunner. Stood the tests of time, several tests of several times, decades, and fashion trends and whatever. This is still out there on the top shelf, high price, high quality, absolutely stunning. And what it is, it's a very simple yet very refined fragrance. It's all about citrus and oak moss, the interplay between these 2 notes, okay? And it does that to an utterly beautiful level, or at an utterly beautiful level. Is just absolutely stunning and mind-blowing. It's a benchmark. It's a total benchmark in gentlemen's fragrances. Absolutely. Pour Monsieur by Chanel. Next one, we jump into the 80s actually. Wow. And we jump over to Italy. And the house of Trussardi released a fantastic male fragrance in 1983 called Trussardi Uomo. Trussardi Uomo, you see this is the presentation, a beautiful leathery kind of presentation. Okay, this is plastic though, I have to say. But it's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. Do not mix it up with the 2011 Trussardi Uomo, which is out there, which is a nice fragrance, but has nothing in common and nothing to do directly with this fragrance, okay? Because this is simply all about, as the packaging sort of indicates already, all about leather. It's leather, and it's, in my opinion, one of, or if not the best leather fragrance ever done. It is so sophisticated. It's a dry, luxurious Italian leather, okay? So it's not your, I want to, blow off your socks type of leather, okay? This is charming. This is gentleman. This is like a signore would wear, okay? I reviewed this in a Cosa Nostra style a few years back, okay? This is absolutely beautiful. And, it definitely has its place in this selection of 5 fragrances representing total and utter sophistication and top quality and class, okay? Then we go ahead, we stay in France and go over to the house of Ted Lapidus, releasing Ted Lapidus Bourhomme in 1987. And this is an absolute benchmark in the entire fragrance history, in my opinion, male fragrance history. Because again, it stood its test of time. Obviously, it's still around, this one. And it really represents it really represents the best parts of the 70s and 80s bottled in one single bottle, okay? That's what it does. And this one has a tremendous honey note in there and about 2 dozen more. Like, it's a very, very complex blend. It has a very nice aromatic, sometimes a bit animalic, and honey also very much playing here a part. So all these aspects are blended in a way that is absolutely stunning and it's a milestone. So it has to have its place in this selection, no doubt about it. And every collection, if you think that you would need something from that time or that period of the fragrance industry or fragrance history, this is definitely one to look at. Okay, so Ted Lapidus Programme. Next one, we jump into the 2000s and we stay in France. Yves Saint Laurent, the great late genius Yves Saint Laurent, mesdames et messieurs, has introduced a fragrance called Rive Gauche. Rive Gauche which is a part on the left banks of Paris, which is frequented by artists and very creative people. Rive Gauche, hence the name, okay, and this beautiful container type of scenario, and it has, what this is all about is a tremendous barbershop shaving foam lavender type of scenario here. So smooth, so sophisticated, that is just mind-blowing. Okay, there's no way you're gonna avoid this if you make any such selection that I'm trying to put together here, that you could never avoid Rive Gauche, because Rive Gauche is just an absolute milestone again, an absolute masterpiece. And this all appeared in this new century, okay, which is even more stunning from Yves Saint Laurent. This actually happened when Yves Saint Laurent was still very much involved in the creations of fragrances and fashion for the brand. Okay, 2003, and last but not least, we jump another decade and arrive to the year of 2012, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. We stay in France and we go niche. Niche, this is the only niche fragrance. You know that I'm not a greatest fan of niche, because sometimes I think it's overhyped and overpriced. But if it's done well and if it's priced well, then I just pull my hat, ladies and gentlemen. And I definitely salute this one from the house of Nicolai, Parfum de Nicolai, New York Intense. Okay, New York Intense. And this had, this is actually a flanker, I could even say, because this had an original one released in 1989, which is a more musky type of, it's very similar but a bit more musky, therefore a bit more leaning into the female direction. This one is absolutely genderless, and it's even more masculine, I would say. And this is absolutely pure and utter joy, this fragrance, especially being released in the last decade, like 2012, I think it was again. What a brave thing to release this, and this is pure and utter sophistication again. New York style of sophistication. I reviewed this on the top of the Empire State Building last year. It really deserved the beautiful Manhattan skyline, I have to say, because this one is just, it's not only a great smell, but it's a very brave as well. This one combines actually castoreum and civet, the animalic smelling notes. It combines them with some great leather and some lavender, and I could go on, cinnamon, I can go on and on and on. But what it gives you is it's a heavy, it reminds you of Karel Ohm, for example, from the 80s, right? So it's that scenario, it's that decade, okay, that timeline, but it does so while at the same time not sitting on your shoulders like crazy, okay? This is not dragging you down, this lifts you up. And actually all of these do. That's the reason why they're all represented in this very, very straight and strict collection of only 5 fragrances that I was trying to represent and present to you in order to say and to bring across the message. If you wear any of these, you're going to be definitely recognized as somebody who is very much taking care of his fragrance choice and goes only for the very best quality and the utter style that these fragrances represent. Now, with that comes that you have to have, with most of these are not casual, okay? These are dressed up fragrances, okay? So if you look at these times that I've been talking the 50s, like for example, I mean, look at the fashion that was around there. So you have to have, these are not fragrances that should be worn with joggings and hoodies and all that shit that's out there worn there today by many people. I'm sorry if I don't want to offend you, but I think it's just horrible. Private opinion, thank you very much. And so these require a certain impeccable taste of dressing up. Okay, and I'm not saying that I am such a person. What I'm saying is I think that these are fragrances that are representing the impeccable quality and impeccable taste in fragrances. Okay, and so one good thing about them, about this selection, that usually I get very much criticism that, okay, you present us these fragrances but they're not available really. These, most of them are. Trussardi Uomo, unfortunately, is not anymore. It's discontinued, and this version of Yves Gauche is discontinued as well, but it's still available in the re-release, just like M7 and Jazz and all the others that the house has been re-releasing a few years back. So, and the other three are very much still out there, alive and available. And if you want to track them, I think you can find them anyway online, eBay, Amazon, I don't know where. You can still track them down if you really want a fragrance for you that is, again, representing total and impeccable style and class. And one more thing I don't have to mention in regards to performance and longevity, okay? All of these are absolutely, again, impeccable, not a question. Longevity, what's the longevity? That's like, these last forever, okay? And they have tremendously perfect sillage and projection. You know, they're never, maybe if you over apply the Lapis program, it can be a bit punchy, but it's okay. If you have an intelligent fragrance, okay, an intelligent blend blended by the most utterly trained noses in the world, then you don't fuck it up by overspraying, okay? You just keep it cool and spray one from the Red Lapis, maybe two underneath the shirt, and that will go well, okay? So, if you have these, if you decide to get these, you know, get yourself up to the level in order to wear them. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, okay? You can't wear Yves Gauche with a tracksuit, okay? So that's also the message, very important message, though, that I want to get across, okay? And that's when I stop preaching, okay? I don't want to get on your nerves. But I had to do this in order to bring you a sort of full package and a bit of education in regards to what these fragrances are all about and how they are best worn alone or in public. Thank you very much. This was Chris, and which one am I going to take? My favorite city, New York, motherfucking New York City. Take care. Bye-bye.